Hi, this is Starkie Sowers, Director of Education for Clark's Nutrition Natural Foods Market. Welcome again to another Plus Program training series. And as you guys might know by now, these series are actually designed to kind of give you guys a behind the scenes look, so to speak, at some of the trainings that we offer for our employees here at Clark's Nutrition. So the topic today is Bach flower remedies, and this is actually part 2. So what we've been talking about is the Bach flower remedies, and today we're going to kind of focus on how to use them and maybe how to identify which remedy is for you. But maybe what I'll do is do a quick rehab, so to speak, for you guys that maybe didn't catch the first one. Bach flower remedies have been on the market for about 70 years. Dr. Edward Bach is the originator of the Bach flower remedies. He actually worked in a hospital in Birmingham, London from about 1906 until about 1913. And later on, after a very serious illness, actually went to work as a homeopathic physician in the Royal College of Homeopathy and the hospital there in London as well too. And so what he did is he actually worked with nosodes, and he also worked as a bacteriologist and a virologist, helping to develop actually vaccines in the 1900s, early 1900s. So he had quite an extensive knowledge, and what he actually sought to do was to replace the nosodes, which is the homeopathic remedies, with flower essences that were much more pure, so to speak, and actually had the essence of the plant. And one of the things that he did is a little bit different focus as opposed to maybe working at a bacterial level or at a viral level or in a specific disease tissue area. He actually sought to square up or kind of stabilize emotional imbalances. He felt like when the body was stable emotionally, then it actually would heal itself. And he identified, after thousands of different types of plants, roughly about 38 plants that he used for what he considered 38 emotional imbalances. So what you'll notice when you pick up a remedy, it's a little bit different. When you look at a remedy, it actually has at the top of it an NDC number, and that NDC number is a National Drug Compliantary number, and it actually is listed as an over-the-counter medicine, so to speak. We actually call them remedies, but technically it's considered a medicine. And the other thing that you'll notice when you pick the front of it, so to speak, you'll actually see on it a description. For instance, like if you looked at oak, it would say, for those that are traditionally strong but have a very difficult time resting, oak would be the remedy for your choice. And by the way, there's 38 of these particular remedies. So after reading multiple types of labels, either you come up with one thing, you either come up with, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm looking for, or you come up with, okay, I want everything. So oftentimes you'll find questionnaires, and sometimes at our stores, we actually have the questionnaires available. Ask one of the sales associates or the nutritional consultants. They should be able to provide you with that. If not, you can find them online. There's a lot of them that are online. If you look at the Bach Center online, you can actually find a questionnaire there as well too. And those questionnaires, what they do is kind of take you through a series of questions. And what happens is you kind of identify the remedy kind of in a nice little interesting fashion, as opposed to just being able to read each and every one of those labels. All right, so let's say you've identified some remedies. By the way, for the most part, they never recommend that you go over 5 to 7, that you kind of want to work with the 5 to 7 at one time. So what do you do then? Well, there's a couple different ways that you can use these remedies. Number one, you can take them straight out of the bottle. So you can use about 2 drops roughly a day of each one of the remedies that you've chosen. And then you can actually just call that a simple solution. And now a lot of people actually choose to do a couple other different things. Probably the most popular method is to take a 2-ounce bottle, fill it with spring water or some type of real clean water. It can be reverse osmosis or distilled or whatever you want to do. And then take the remedies and use about 4 drops of each one of the remedies that you've chosen. Let's say there's 5 of them, 4 drops of each one into the 2-ounce bottle. You shake it up and use about 2 or 3 dropfuls of this particular combination, so to speak, throughout the day. Another simple thing that you can do is just get a glass of water, put 4 drops of each one of the remedies in the water, and sip it through like maybe a 3-hour or 4-hour period throughout the day as well. All right, and then finally, kind of a unique method is you could draw a bath and put the remedies in a bath, and you can actually soak in the bath and actually absorb the remedies in through your skin. It's what we actually call like a transdermal method, so to speak. So that kind of gives you an idea on how to use them. So the question of which one to use was typically answered either through the questionnaire or by reading the front panel, so to speak, of those particular remedies. One thing we want to kind of close with, though, is when it comes to the Dr. Edward Bach formulas, probably the most popular out of all the formulas is the rescue remedies. And what's happened throughout the years is there's been kind of like a family of these rescue remedies that have actually been developed. And so when you look at rescue remedy, it's typically used for all sorts of what we call trauma situations. It can be used for multiple different things, but typically like maybe bereavement or like a death in the family. The other thing it'd be used for is like maybe muscle strain or an illness. Actually, I've used it in a couple different situations like that and noted like immediate relief oftentimes with using the rescue remedies. Now, the other thing you can use it for is sleep. And they also have a cream that you can apply topically as well. So if you look real closely, we actually see now that they have a sleep formula and they also have an energy formula. Some individuals, when they would use the rescue remedy first thing in the morning, kind of get a little lethargic, so to speak. And so using the energy formula kind of helped to relieve the symptoms of stress and maybe the bereavement or whatever the trauma that's going on, at the same time kind of giving you energy throughout the day. So one thing we know for sure about the rescue family, it's going to continue to grow. I noticed recently there's a couple remedies now for ADD for children and a couple other different things. So really look to the Bach flower remedy line, so to speak, to constantly expand and maybe bring in some new things, so to speak. So definitely next time you're going through the stores, you might want to look at these. It's a little confusing when you first start looking at these particular formulas, but they definitely provide some very unique insights for some emotional imbalances, so to speak, and you definitely feel better when you use them. This is Starkie Sowers, Director of Education for Clark's Nutrition and Natural Foods Market, reminding you to live better. We can help.